Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing and Afternoons with the Ambassador. And I know a couple days late. I know most everybody has done their watch parties and their reviews for The Mandalorian, the tragedy, but I wanted to go ahead and do this anyway and give my thoughts, do a live reaction to the episode and everything. And, well, here I am. So, for those of you that might tune in later and everything, the link to the watch party is up pinned at the top of the chat. So if you want to watch along with me, you are more than welcome to do so. And, well, as I say on the show, this is the way. And honestly, I will say, folks, just to give my thoughts and anything on the season thus far, this has been, I think, an exceptional episode. You know, I was a little hesitant when they started the show back last year with season 1 of Mandalorian, but I finally binged it. I binged season 1. I was extremely impressed, and that trend has just continued with season 2. And honestly, I'm looking forward to this episode. I know I tweeted out that I watched it early, Thursday morning or Friday morning, whichever way you want to put it. And, to my friend Mountains of Elysium, good afternoon, bud, or good evening. Obviously, we're over in the Emerald Isle where you're at. Live long and prosper. Whoops, wrong franchise. Good to see you, bud. And I'm glad you're here. So, but as I was saying, you know, this season of Mandalorian has just been, it has been an absolute, for me, except for one episode, which was kind of a filler, it has been a solid season. I will say that everybody that's been working on this show thus far has done an exemplary job, a wonderful job, an awesome job. And, you know, yeah, I'm a fanboy a little bit because as much of how much I love Star Wars, but, you know, I am going to give credit where credit is due. I am going to say it and call it as I see it. I'm going to call balls and I'm going to call strikes. Well, so far, there have been neither. Right now, Mandalorian's firing on all cylinders. And I will say this much, Star Wars is firing on all cylinders. Contrary to what other channels might want you to believe, at least from my point of view, Star Wars right now is firing on all cylinders. And I'm happy to see it. And Mount Elysium, bud, that's fine. I know it's late where you're at, so I appreciate you coming by regardless. Glad to see you as always. So thank you for popping in. But folks, that all being said, not going to stand on a whole bunch of ceremony here and everything. We're going to get started. So, but anyway, for those of you that will catch us on the replay, if you're not here live, I hope you enjoy the watch party. Hope you all enjoy my reaction. I'll obviously do a review and everything. And, well, I'm not going to belabor the point any longer. We'll talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the state of Star Wars and Mandalorian after this. So, as they say, here we go. Okay. Well. It is our little friend, Fennec Shen. Been a while. Ooh. A little recap. Okay. Child has a name. And may the force be with you as well, Mountains of Elysium. And always a pleasure to see you, bud. And greetings to you, Robert Rose. Good to see you, bud. As always, pleasure. Nice to see you in the chat and everything. Hopefully the link is working this time. If you want to watch along, I've got it up at the top and everything. And right now, just in the recap, we haven't gone into the episode itself. So, and for those of you who might be wondering, I'm actually watching on my TV, but y'all have got the link and everything to watch along with me and everything. So, but I've got it pretty much synced. So, I'll double check just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure we're synced. Okay. All right, here we go. There's our old friend, the Razor Crest. Oh, are we heading straight to? I'm sorry. The name has grown on me. I like it. I like the name. It's a good, strong name. It's like, yes. What? He's like, I don't wanna. It's my ball. Go get your own. Go get your own. Go get your own silver ball, Dad. Hmm. He's trying. Come on, little buddy. You've got it in you. Come on. Good boy. He did it. Dang, Ferric. Yes, he is. He's a child of. He's a child of the Force. He's a. Hmm. Hmm. That's an interesting. Love this music. Tragedy. Huh. Well, that's exactly what I'm expecting, but I'm not going to say I dislike the design of the world. Of course, it's a big world. Could be other structures on other parts of the planet. Oh. Hmm. Yeah. Looks very Jedi esque. It's very, very Jedi esque. Certainly getting his use out of that backpack. Jetpack. Whatever. Hmm. Really digging the music. Sounds very mystical, which it should. Yeah. He wouldn't really know. Well, he would maybe a little bit from the temple, but that's early Jedi. That's not Old Republic Jedi era. It's very. That's a good question. No, there wouldn't be. No, Jedi runes. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, ship. What? Wait, what? What? Robert, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Holy crap, that's Slave One. Whoa, and we've got glowy force stuff. Whoa. Yeah, not the smartest move. Smartest move? Robert, I don't know why the link wouldn't be working. I don't know what to tell you, honestly, man. Hey, and Big Geek, good to see you, bud. Been a while. Just watching latest episode of Mandalorian. The link, if you want to watch along, is in the chat. So, oh, I know. I'm just rewatching this to be honest with you, but I just what? I was a little tired the night I watched this, and I think so. This is hello. Could it be? No, he's not Jedi. Nope. Hello, Boba freaking Fett. Not yours. It does. He is. Yep. You. I don't think that. Well. Finnick. Hmm. Thanks, MB. Good to see you too, bud, and I appreciate it. Oh, good. Carrying a Tuscan blaster, slug thrower, and a gaffy stick. No small thing. Yeah. Yeah, but there are worse people you'd be in service to. Oh, crap. And here come our buddies, the Empire. Well, of course, MB, it's me. All right, I'm going to say it. That blue force field around him is really cool looking. He's in the middle of something. You're going to have to wait. Just saying. Oof. Ouch. That looks painful. I must say, I love the design of Phoenix armor, particularly her helmet. And send in the troopers. Lots and lots of troopers. Yeah, MB, I would agree. Dang, he's good with that blaster, and she's good with hers. If I remember correctly, I think Robert Rodriguez directed this episode. He kicked him. He kicked ass. Just saying. Oh, I think Django's about to mess. Oh, or Django. Boba's about to mess up some people. Oh, damn. Shh. Whew. So that's how a gaffy stick works. Holy freaking crap. Oh, he went. I would bet money he was trained by the Tuscans to use that sucker. Jeez. Well, we waited enough time to see Boba Fett in action. I would say it was worth the wait. Might be older, but age is not slowing him up any. Huh. Imperial mortar. That's interesting. Oh. Watch your head. Ooh. Finnick, get your butt under cover, kid. Yeah, E-Web. Yeah. I used to have the toy of that back when I was a kid. Oh, clever girl. Use the environment to your advantage. Clever, clever girl. Run away, run away. Oof. Dang. Empire's getting freaking wrecked. Oh. Shit. Damn. Oh. Oof. Holy crap. Boba Fett just went beast mode on those stormtroopers. Holy freaking crap! Yeah, MB, that was actually a really cool little touch that they brought in mortars and everything. What Star Wars equivalent of a mortar and everything? I would imagine it used something like, "Dang, Fennec kicking ass." I'm gonna say I love her blaster and I love that. And here comes more freaking stormtroopers. Lovely. Okay, well, here's more cannon fodder. Come on, Mando, get up off your ass. They need you down there, man. Quit trying to get the kid. Kid ain't good. They need you down there. Mando. Here's a better idea. Why don't you buy him some time? Take a clue. It's the Force. You can't penetrate it. Go help Boba and Finnick. About time you got through your head you can't penetrate the Force with a hand. Of course. Now it shuts off. Oh. Poor little fella. Dang. Yeah, good luck with that. Because here comes the other Mandalorian. Two Mandalorians and a former Imperial bounty hunter or officer. I'd say the Empire is pretty much screwed right now. Oh man, I love the slow motion photography right here. And bye bye. Hello. Got my armor now, bitches. Yep, they're toast. Oh. And he's just like, hold my beer, guys. I got this. Damn. Boba Fett has not lost a freaking step. Oh. Mm. Oh. Knee-mounted rockets. Well, ain't that a hell of a thing? Yeah, MB, I would agree. Boba in his armor. Oh, and he's got the rocket on his pack. He's like, they're all like King Arthur's knights from Monty Python and the Grail. Run away, run away. What? Oh, wait a minute. He's like, no, I don't think y'all are going anywhere. Oh, boy. Damn! Empire just got wrecked the hell up. Oh, I love this shot right here. He's just like, just doing my thing, you know. Okay, yeah. What the hell? What in the... What the freaking heck? Son of a bitch. Well, no more Razor Crest. Oh, and here's Mr. Fancy Pants. Oh, hell. Dark Troopers. Okay, I'll say it. I like the design of the Dark Troopers. Very cool. Very accurate to EU. Very, very accurate to the EU. Oh, you sons of bitches. If only he put his backpack back on, he would have been fine. Shit. Shit. Well, here comes Slave One. Cockpit's even accurate to what we've seen before. Yeah, MB, I would agree. Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito, he's good at it. But I can't wait till him and Dinjarin get to have their little face to face. No. Damn. Completely destroyed. Man. That sucks major ass. First he loses the ship, then he loses the kid. Oh no. The little silver knob off the. Damn. Music here. Ludwig Göransson, how is it you can make such beautiful music but yet make it so damn heartbreaking? This is just absolutely gut wrenching. Well, now we know just how tough Bhaskar is. He can survive being hit by a high powered laser blast. Yeah. 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 Yes. Wow. Yeah. MB, we'll get into that and everything after the episode's over. Back to Navarro, looks like. I'm just going to say it. Slave One has never looked better. Well, yeah, MB, I know. It can hold up to lightsabers. It can hold up to pretty much just about anything. Oh, back to Yeah. Oh boy. Look at you in your pretty little cape. I hope they choke you with it. You think you've got all the pieces in play. I can't wait to see the look on your face when they kick your sorry ass. Oof. Damn. Grogu is powerful. Guess that's not really surprising. I hate you. I, yeah, well. Oh, dark saber. No, but I know somebody else is. You scum sucking piece of Imperial trash. I hope they shove that Beskar bear right through your gall dang head. Yep. Screw you. Screw Dr. Pershing. I hope you all die. And I hope you all die screaming. Ugh. Hell's coming for you, son. Mandos. Yep. Robert Rodriguez directed this. Mm. Oh, why that's lagging. I just gotta say the artwork on the credits is even cool. And in order of repentance, Tamora Morrison. Well, Tamora, welcome back, my man. Good to see you kicking ass the best way you know, as better as anybody can. So, well, guys, that was chapter 14. I know a lot of people said this is such a short. This is such a sort of short episode, and nothing really happened. Just a big action scene. I disagree. And we'll go ahead and get into review here. And yeah, honestly, guys, this episode, man, this episode was good. You know, I know a lot of people are going to say, Ambassador is just fanboying because it's Star Wars. No, I'm fanboying because this show is good. The show is damn good. And honestly, okay, we'll go through review here. The good about this episode, it was not a filler. Number one. Number two, got some more world building. Yeah, and Big Geek, I agree. The music is very good, but we'll get to the music in due time. This episode, as I started saying, was not a filler. We got straight to Tython. I will say I was just a little disappointed at how the design of Tython, but the thing is they only showed one part of the planet, so it could be that there might be different parts of the planet that do still have Jedi structures standing, possibly. I mean, for those of you that saw Rogue One, there were Jedi structures there, and everything. So it's possible that on different parts of Tython there were still temples or whatever that would still be standing and everything after all this time. So, but getting into the episode itself, yeah, the action was solid, but really wasn't expecting less from Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez knows how to do action and do it well. And the fight choreography, the shootout, all of that, the tactics and everything that Boba and Finnick used. Robert Rose, I'm not entirely sure. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. I actually have never seen the Pacific Rim movies. I heard they're okay. I heard they're entertaining, but I never bothered to sit down and watch them. But I will say, if this is what Robert Rodriguez brings to the Star Wars universe, I am all for it. I am sincerely and wholeheartedly all for it because Robert Rodriguez, the guy knows how to do good movies. I mean, I've been a fan of Robert Rodriguez for a long time. With the El Mariachi movies with Antonio Banderas and everything. Yeah, MB, I remember. Yeah, Tython was the home world of the Jedi. Yeah. So, like I said, there could be more structures just on a different part of the planet. So, and we just saw one section of it. I will say I did like the design of the Seeing Stone. It was simplistic, which would be in keeping. Oh, Julian Miller, if that's the case. Robert Rose, Star Wars needs giant mechas in it. Well, it kind of already does anything if you want to consider AT-ATs and AT and Scout Walkers as mechas and everything in a manner of speaking. But honestly, I love this. This episode was solid. Anything, and I will say the world building that they give. Obviously, we see that Grogu, and yes, I like the child's name. I do. It did sound a little odd at first, but now that I've heard it and I've really thought it over, I do like the fact that the child has a name. And we obviously learned that he is exceedingly powerful in the Force, although obviously we learned last episode he had been trained at the Temple on Coruscant and everything. So we get to see just how powerful he can be. And honestly, I would not be opposed if Grogu is the one that kills Moff Gideon. If Grogu just force snaps his piddly little neck, I'd be okay with that. I really would. So, but in terms of the other world building that they did in this episode, obviously Finnick Shan, I think was the character's name, played by Ming-Na Wen. And this no pun intended. Ming-Na Wen is always a win. She's always good in whatever she does and everything. I love her as an actress. I've enjoyed what she's done since I saw her on ER. And she rocked in this episode and everything. She's very believable and everything in this role. So, and I imagine they did have a stunt double for some parts that might have been too dangerous, but for whatever amount that she did well. I did like the introduction or the reintroduction of Boba Fett. Obviously, we got that scene at the very end of Chapter 9, the Marshal, where we saw that Boba Fett was in fact still alive. We'll get into that in a few minutes, MB, and everything. We will, and everything. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. We'll get into some theorizing and everything. I just want to kind of do a review and breakdown of the episode before we get into like theorizing about other stuff down the road. Temuera Morrison, I know he's aged since Attack of the Clones and so on, but he's still in good shape. He might have a dad bod, as they call it, but he can still kick ass with the best of them. I mean, the fight choreography, him using the Tusken long rifle, the slug thrower, really good. But the part that really impressed me was the fight scenes and him using the gaffy stick. And I never realized how truly truly devastating a gaffy stick could be. Damn. I mean, if you all notice, it smashed that stormtrooper armor like it was tissue paper. I mean, yeah, I mean it's obviously made of metal, and the stormtrooper armor is made of plasteel or whatever I think it's called and everything in the Star Wars universe. But Boba just absolutely wrecked him, and then when he finally got, yeah, that was a nice little callback to Attack of the Clones. I'm just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe, just like what his father said to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, that was a good line. But I will say, and I know this might have been a little bit of a wink and a nod, but I did like right after Boba took down those two ships, he kind of looks at the camera like, just doing my thing, people. Just doing my thing. But he was just like, what? Ain't no biggie. Just doing what I do. And what I do. Well, to quote Logan, there's one thing I'm really good at, and that one thing isn't very nice. Boba Fett in this episode, I think we have very much established, or if you want to say reestablished, that Boba Fett, just like his father, is a badass. I think he's the character of Boba Fett has been pretty much been redeemed from his ignominious end in Return of the Jedi at the hands of a blind Han Solo. I will say that very much. Now, something I do want to get into in terms of Boba and Fennec, and the fact that they're going to be helping Mandalorian get Grogu back. I've heard some other reviews and everything, and what I'm going to say and everything is not to conflict with what anybody else has pointed out and everything. Actually, I agree with a lot of the other reviews that I have heard. But people have said, well, Boba's a good guy now. Here's the thing about bounty hunters. Bounty hunters are not necessarily bad men, because we have bounty hunters on our world. Everything in real life, we have bounty hunters that go after criminals. And I think that's something that we kind of miss in everything, in particular with Star Wars. Now, you could frame it as Boba going from a bad guy, quote unquote, to a good guy. But I think we have to look at this through a different lens. Boba Fett is not a bad guy per se, nor was it necessarily his father. It's all a matter of context. In the context of Jango, yeah, he was working with the Trade Federation. Yeah, he was aligned with Count Dooku. Ergo, we would assume that we would look at him as an antagonist or a villain or a bad guy. If he wasn't, then we would look at Jango in a completely different light. And I think the same thing applies here to Boba. Because he was going after Han Solo and the rest of the heroes, the good guys, and Empire and Return of the Jedi, we look at him in the lens of a Boba said wrecked, yeah. Yeah. Rose is probably the best fictional armor is Halo Spartan armor. Second probably would be the armor in the Expanse. I'd say that's fair, and we can get into that in a little bit and everything. But getting in terms of our perception of Boba, I would say that more than likely he was not necessarily evil when he was hunting down Han and them in Empire Strikes Back, although we could perceive him as such. But I think the thing to keep in mind in terms of characters like Boba Fett, they're more neutral. They're a bounty hunter, and bounty hunters will go after whoever they've been tasked to go after. I mean, we could technically call the Mandalorian a bad guy because he's a bounty hunter himself, and he could be going after marks and everything that could be seemingly innocent people or people that haven't really done any great offense, but they're still being hauled in regardless. They have a bounty on their head. I mean, bad people put bounties on good people all the time. It happens. I mean, the Grogu has a bounty on his head, and Grogu's not a bad character. He's just in the wrong. Well, he's a victim of circumstance. Let's put it that way. Yeah, MB, I would agree. Django and Boba were just simple men trying to make their way in the universe, and one of the ways that people make their way in the world, including in the Star Wars universe, is as a bounty hunter. Now, I'm sure that Boba and Django probably took contracts for people that were criminals, were legit criminals, were bad people that did bad things and deserved to be have their butts hauled in by whoever put out the contract on them or put the bounty on them. So the fact that Boba and Finnick are now have made this bargain, have made this deal that they and everything are going to work with Din Djarin or with the Mandalorian to get Grogu back. I'm not saying it puts them in the frame of a protagonist or a hero. I would say at the very least they're, if you want to put it in role playing terms, they are lawful neutrals and everything. And if I'm a little off on the exact definition here, please forgive me. I'm not a master at Dungeons and Dragons and role playing, unlike my good friend Jason P. Preston over at Polyhedral Paradise. He'd be the true expert. But I would consider characters like Boba Fett neutrals because they fit in whatever context that they are placed. In this particular context, we could consider them antagonists, or we could call them heroes if you want to go that far. I wouldn't necessarily look at them that way, but I'm not saying other people can't. So that for me is, they kind of exist in a gray area. They're neither good nor bad. They're just whatever circumstance fits them in. Yeah, MB Geek. Yeah, I have to say the flip of the blaster to be like Attack of the Clones. Yeah, that was a nice little callback. I will agree. Yeah, absolutely. But getting into the episode, some more of the episode. Obviously, we got Grogu on the Seeing Stone. We had that blue force field. Now, I will say that, and I kind of mentioned this already, I liked the design of the Seeing Stone and the stonework around it. It was very simplistic. But the thing to remember, this is very, very ancient Force wielder architecture, very ancient Jedi architecture. But it fit. It worked with the culture and everything, because even the ancient Jedi had a culture all their own, and their architecture very, very much spoke to that architecture. The one thing I will say is I like the little Jedi glyphs that were etched into around. Yeah, big equal, awful, neutral. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that's, I think, was what I was shooting. Yeah, absolutely. But as I was saying, I liked the etch work, or the etching and everything in the ancient Jedi text and everything on the Seeing Stone itself. I really liked that little touch that they did. It rooted the world a little bit more. It gave some more context to. I would be interested to see a translation of what that text, or at least whatever the parts that we do see of that text, has to say on the Seeing Stone itself. But I will, the thing that I really found interesting was that blue force field that was up around Grogu and everything. And this is where we'll get into some theorizing about who possibly sensed Grogu's presence on the Seeing Stone. If we look at the time frame of Mandalorian, there are three possibilities of who could possibly come and find him and train him, and they might even play a part in his rescue. We'll just have to wait and see. We've got 2 episodes left in this season and everything, if I remember correctly, because it's only an 8-episode season and everything, unless Disney decides to spoil us a little and does a 9-episode season. Yeah, that was, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I was like, yeah, to quote the late Han Solo, that's not how the Force works. Yeah, but being a Mandalorian, not being super familiar with the Force or the Jedi or anything, it's a rookie, it's a newbie error to make, so that's not a big deal. But as to who possibly could come and train Grogu and everything potentially, because we don't know. There's something I want to talk about for a few minutes before I get into my theorizing. At the beginning of the episode, when they're there on the Razor Crest, and Mando's talking to Grogu, and he's like, whoever comes to find you, you have to agree to go with, because he's like, don't you want to learn how to do all this Jedi stuff? I mean, and that's how he can contextualize it, and I understand that. So, um, the other thing is, I get the impression that Grogu's like, maybe I don't want to learn any more about the Force. Maybe I just want to stay with you. But at the same time, if we look at what happens there on Moff Gideon's cruiser when Grogu's in that cell with those stormtroopers, we get the impression that Grogu's very powerful. But here's the thing: if you all remember from last week's episode, he had to suppress his connection to the Force and his abilities, and it's almost like a muscle that has atrophied. If he had used it more, he would probably be more powerful. It wouldn't be as hard on him to use the Force. Let's see, Investor Owen. That's what made it so good. He does not know the Force yet. Yeah, Robert Rose. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Because I have an opinion on that, but there's a couple more things I want to say before I get into theorizing about who could come train Grogu. But here's the thing: obviously, Grogu's not happy. He's back in Imperial custody, which he does not want to be. He does not like the Empire. Believe me, if Grogu was at full strength, and that's where I was starting to go. If y'all remember, Jedi have to go through a lot of not just Force training, but physical training to get in the best possible physical shape so that they can harness the Force and everything. Because if you've noticed, anytime a Jedi or even a Sith uses the Force to a great extent, it can physically fatigue them. Yeah. MB Geek, yeah, attachment. That is the issue for Jedi. And Ahsoka said, yeah, I agree. So the fact that Grogu has suppressed his abilities and hasn't been able to really work on them and keep them up to strength is the reason why he gets tired. He gets fatigued so quickly and everything. Anytime he expands or expends any effort to use the Force to a large degree. So now that brings us to theorizing who are the possibilities for training Grogu. Well, we've got three primarily, and MB Geek already mentioned one. That's Ezra Bridger. But the thing is, we don't know where Ezra is at this point. We don't know if this is after Ahsoka and Sabine have located him and rescued him or got him away from Grand Admiral Thrawn and everything like we saw at the end of Rebels. So it's a possibility, but we don't know for sure. Here's another possibility, and this is the obvious one: Luke. And everything, because at this point, Luke would be rebuilding his Jedi Order and everything, or starting to build build his academy. Let's put it that way. And that's a possibility too. Who do we get to play Luke? Well, I've heard Sebastian Stan's name tossed around. I've heard a deep fake of Luke and everything, like they did in Rise of Skywalker with the de-aging and the pure generated face, and just have a different actor stand in, and then maybe just have Hamill do the voice. But the problem is, you're going to have an old Luke's voice coming out of a younger face. So that's going to be although they could do it, but it would be. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it being Luke. Yeah, MB Geek, I would agree with that. It's both mental and physical. That's taxing of a body. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not. And here's the thing: I'm not opposed to any of the suggestions or the theories I'm giving here. Now there is one more and everything, and I don't know if this is one that most people have just missed out on. But to the best of our knowledge, both Cal Kestis and Seer from Jedi Fallen Order are still alive. At least I'm assuming Cal Kestis is alive. I can't remember if Seer, because I haven't finished the game yet and everything. But Cal Kestis, and if it's not Luke, that's fine and everything. Honestly, I would be good with any the character. But here's the thing: it has to be a character that to keep it rooted in Star Wars reality. Let's put it that way. It's going to have to be somebody. And that's a possibility too. And I mean, we don't know how The Mandalorian is going to connect to the sequels, if at all. I know people have said, well, this is kind of trying to build up the world pre-sequel trilogy. Personally, I don't care if it does one way or another. For me, the sequels are done and over with. If they want to put a few little winks and nods in there to the sequels that say, well, this is a possibility of what happened in the years before the sequels, okay, fine. But me, I just want a good story, and thus far, we've gotten a good story. With the show, with the series, with the 2 seasons they've done so far. So, of the 3, who would I like to see? Honestly, I would be good if it was Ezra, Luke, or Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order and everything. Any one of those 3, because as I've played the game, I've really grown to have an appreciation for the character. And if he is in fact still alive at this time point, which we have no evidence to suggest that he's not, it would be cool. I mean, for Star Wars fans, most everybody who's played Jedi Fallen Order or at least watched videos about the gameplay or the story are going to know who Cal is. And that could be a nice little wink and nod. And it could even turn out that Ahsoka agrees to train him. That's a possibility too. I'm not saying it's an absolute certainty right now. We're just theorizing as to who's going to train Grogu. But obviously, Grogu sent out his SOS or whatever, his Force pager number, and said, "Hey, I'm here. Someone come find me, or somebody come track me and save me and get me off this stinking Imperial ship." Now, as Robert Rose said, Mace Windu. I'm sorry, that's Robert. I'm not trying to shoot you down or necessarily disagree with what other people are saying, but that's stretching logic, even for something as fictional as Star Wars. Further than I think a lot of people, even hardcore fans, would be willing to go. Ambassador, do we cannot talk about the sequels? It's a good story, and thanks to it's a part. Okay. What if the surprises? What if they surprise everyone and bring Starkiller in though? Now, as far as we know, Starkiller or Galen Merrick, he would be older. He would be a lot older. Or anything, but that's a possibility too. I didn't really think about that. Thank you, Robert. That's a possibility too. They could bring in Starkiller, Galen. I think the character's original name was Galen Merrick, but we just called it from Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2. We just called it Starkiller. It could be the clone of Starkiller. That's a very distinct possibility. But again, we don't. He would be very old, but at the same time, that's not necessarily a bad thing. He would be more experienced in using the Force, and he could be a good teacher for Grogu, because Grogu's at a very delicate point in his training. He's not going full dark side, but at the same time, he's kind of right stuck in the middle of his perception of the Force. And I think that's actually not a bad thing. And the good thing is, with all these teachers and everything, with Luke or Cal Kestis or even Ezra Bridger or even Starkiller, they are all partially trained Jedi who have had the time to go off and study and perfect their abilities and get stronger in the Force and have a better understanding of it. Yeah, MB Geek, I would agree. Galen Merrick, that would be a shock. So, but it's a possibility. It's a very distinct possibility. But as far as the idea of Mace Windu making some sort of miraculous return, I'm sorry, that bends logic even further than bringing back Palpatine for the Rise of Skywalker and everything. And I know a lot of people are going to say it's not Palpatine himself; it's a clone. Yes, I know it's a clone body. They yanked the whole thing from the Dark Empire comic book series from the expanded universe. But here's the thing. With the expanded universe, it doesn't break cinematic canon because even George Lucas himself said there are different grades of canon. There's A canon and B canon. There's cinematic and expanded universe. You can mesh the two if you so choose, or you can keep them separate, which is often what a lot of Star Wars fans do, myself included. So Mace Windu making some sort of miraculous return after getting his hand lopped off. Yes, I know losing a limb doesn't necessarily guarantee death, but he was being shocked with lethal amounts of force lightning, and he was flung out of a window several stories up. I'm sorry, even Jedi go splat. So, regardless of whatever fan fiction theory somebody's put out there about Mace Windu coming back to or surviving all this time, I'm sorry, I don't see it happening because even Mace Windu would have a high bounty on his head. The Empire would be hunting him just as heavily as they would Yoda or Obi-Wan during the reign of the Empire. So Mace Windu surviving for any amount of time with quite literally legions of stormtroopers, not to mention Vader himself. Yeah, MB Geek, I agree. I won't. Yeah, it would be cool to see him back, but at the same time, yes, it is a stretch that's too far even for Star Wars. So, but anyways, guys, honestly, as far as this episode goes, I give it a solid. My only minor nitpick is we didn't get to see more of Tython, and that's just a really minor nitpick. As far as the episode itself, I'm happy with it. I was entertained by it. It built the world. It obviously furthered the story. It almost ended on an Empire Strikes Back down note. GC George Canon. That was prior to Disney. Yeah, MB. I understand what you're saying. So, but as far as this episode goes, this is the way. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and say that in this particular context, Disney Star Wars sucks. Disney Star Wars does not suck. When it comes to The Mandalorian and to Season 7 of Clone Wars and to the two video games we've gotten thus far with Jedi Fallen Order, and I've heard that Battlefront 2 has gotten better and everything as they've done further upgrades and updates rather, and even Squadrons. I would say the state of Disney Star Wars, or just Star Wars, is good. It's very, very good, and it's in good hands. And I'm glad to say that, to be honest with you all. You know, most of you know on this channel, I love Star Wars. And I talk about it in the positive rather than the negative. Because it has been a part of my life since I was 7, going on 8 years old. MV Geek, I'll have to have you on again sometime, bud. Anything, because I kind of miss you too. So I'll be in touch. Once you get out of Twitter jail, you know where to find me, bud. So, but as far as the episode goes, if I was going to give it like a score or a ranking or something, if I was going to give it a score, I would give this a solid 9.5. Because I said, aside from us not going to Tython, it was a good episode. Or not to seeing more of Tython. I think it's good. It's a good, solid episode. Robert Rodriguez and everybody else that worked on the episode did a great job, as always, and everything. And I give them my ambassadorial seal of approval. So, just a couple of quick updates and everything for the channel, and then I'm gonna probably wrap up here. Coming up next week, I will be bringing you I will bring you all part 4 of my Star Wars fan fiction, Ray Who. This is going to be a different. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm not going to do a live stream. I'm doing voiceover work. I'm doing it with images and everything, kind of like what I did before. But I want to bring you all a clear presentation, and this is probably how I'm going to be going forward. I am working on part 5. For those of you who have not heard, this is going to be a 10-part fan fiction series and everything that I'm doing. So this is going to go into next year, definitely, because it takes time to write these and everything. But I'm really enjoying doing this fan fiction for you all, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying doing it. Coming up next Wednesday night and everything, going to be continuing my Christmas live streams and everything, and Wednesday 7:30 Central Time we're going to be doing another watch party. Last week we did A Charlie Brown Christmas and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This Wednesday going to go a little more adult, and we're going to sell one of the great debates of cinema, and we're going to watch Die Hard, the original, the first one from the 1980s, the original Die Hard. And we're going to have a little conversation. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And then, of course, next Friday afternoon, I will be back with another installment of the Council of One's Babylon 5 review. That'll be at 2:30 Central Time. And I'll put out a little more notice or anything. And I'll probably do another live stream watch party review of the next episode of Mandalorian on Saturday and everything. I might do it at a different time. I'm not sure, because my Fridays are already packed enough as it is, because I've got my Babylon 5 review. I'm going to start doing a series of streams with the fellows over at Superior Hero Reviews and everything. We just did one yesterday where we did a review of the animated movies of The Death of Superman and The Reign of the Supermen. And that was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing those going forward. So, and to finish up the rest of the month and everything, I have 2 more Christmas live streams. Week after, not next week, but week after, we're going to do some Christmas karaoke. I know that's a little bit different from normal karaoke, but it's Christmas time, and I love Christmas music. I know that's true for a lot of people, so I'll be saying out word about that. But, and then, of course, to wrap up my Christmas live streams, we're going to be doing a watch party for another great Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So, but that all being said, folks, I hope you all have a great night. I'm waiting to hear from my friends over at Binge Buddies, that being Mad Max and Brian Hill, the Master of None, and the rest of the gang, to see when we're going to be streaming tonight. Once that comes up, I'll tweet that out and everything. And hope to see some of you all there tonight as well. So, but that all being said, folks, again, thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. For those of you that'll catch us on the replay, I hope you'll enjoy the review and everything and the discussion. So, but y'all have a great weekend. God bless you, and Merry Christmas. And until next time. This is the Ambassador, signing off.
I have always been